What's going on, YouTube? JBZ here. I just want to make an Evoker guide for you guys because it seems to be a lot of confusion on Evokers. People don't really know, people don't really understand how to play them properly and what you need to do. And I just want to put all the information that I've learned over the past few days. Theory crafting with Easy Game. We've been doing everything, guys. We've tried all the specs, all the builds. Been trying RBGs and arenas. We pretty much got it down. We came up with a build that is good for RBGs and arenas that seems to surpass all the others. So I'm gonna break this video down into different sections: the gear, talents, offensives, defensives, and the rotation. So Evokers are in a good spot, guys. I think they're a really strong class. I think they have the most ridiculous burst in the game, and their consistent is also really good as well as their single target damage. It's really strong with this build. So this build is based around Disintegrate. So you're gonna want to use pretty much all of your essence on Disintegrate, and you want to use your Azure spikes to get procs for Disintegrate, like this, to make them free. And you just want to use them as much as you possibly can, along with your hover, obviously, because when you hover, you can use your Disintegrate instantly. Well, I'll go over more about the rotation in a bit, but let me start with the gear. You want to spec into full mastery. So the first thing you want to do on your new Evoker is craft a 291 Unity with Verse Mastery on your ring, and a Set Fuse with Verse Mastery on your neck. And the reason you get Set Fuse is because it's the only legendary that's available to Evoker in the pre-patch, and obviously Dragonflight won't have legendary, so it's pretty much all you can do right now. You also want to get the staff, the Mastery Staff. But I'm using the one hand because it looks cool. But you want to get the Mastery Staff for sure to min-max better. And you also want to get the badge, the on-use 1 minute cooldown badge trinket to make your burst better. I'm using the insignia just because I'm lazy and I haven't picked it up yet. But other than that, you want to get as much mastery as you can on your gear. It's kind of, there's not a lot of mastery gear for male, but just do as much as you can. I'm pretty much I feel like I'm pretty much good at 73%. That's a lot of mastery. But so what mastery does is it increases the damage of your spells based on the current health of your target. So when they have more health, you're gonna do more damage to them. The reason why it's so good is because you have an ability called Dragon Rage, and what Dragon Rage does, it's one of your 2 minute cooldowns. During the duration, it makes all of the mastery skill to get the maximum benefit, like regardless of their health. So you're gonna do 73% more damage regardless of their health. It doesn't scale with the health, it's just max. So you're gonna use this with all of your instant bursts, and that's how you get all of your crazy damage out. So that's one of the offensives. The other offensive is Tip the Scales. It makes your next empowered spell cast instantly at its maximum empower level. So I've done a lot of testing with the honor talents as well. So I pretty much always play Unburdened Flight because I feel like it's just really good. Whenever you hover, you're just immune to movement speed reductions. So I feel like it's really good for kiting. Nullifying Shroud I also do before the team fights, and what it does is it prevents the next 3 loss of control effects on you. So it just helps you get your damage out like just smoothly. So I like using that. And I also use Chrono Loop. What Chrono Loop does, it's a very interesting ability that I've been practicing. What it is, it's pretty much an alter time, but on the enemy. So I'm gonna show you guys some tricks I learned with it in the next clip, but after I finish talking about the talents. Obsidian Metal is also good. Whenever you wall, you pretty much get aura mastery with that. Scouring Flame could definitely be really strong in RBGs. I might start using this for RBGs. Scouring Flame, what it does is your Flame Breath just purges everybody. And based on the empower level too. So if you get a full Flame Breath, it just removes a ton of magic effects from the enemy team, which is huge for a team fight. So for RBGs, this is probably going to be the spec right here. But for Arena, especially in 3s, I recommend playing Chrono Loop, and I'm going to show you guys why. Other than that, Crippling Force is good. Definitely a solid choice as well. It makes especially versus double melee or something, because it reduces the movement speed of them whenever you disintegrate by a lot. Time Stop is also a really good defensive. what it does is it freezes them, making them completely invulnerable, and they can't do anything. It freezes them in time for 4 seconds. So if they get kidneyed and they're about to get bursted, you could just use that on your teammate, or you could use that on yourself. But right now it's a little buggy. If they have bleeds on them, it'll just like instantly kill them. So I'm not really messing with it that much. And precognition's good, of course, too. Swoop ups also pretty decent. Grab an enemy and fly with them, but I just don't like the range on it. It's only 15-yard range, so I don't really like it that much. So for RBGs, I would do this setup. And for arena, I would do this setup. So with the talents, I selected Font of Magic, which means your burst is going to be even higher level. Your fire breath is even going to go to 4, so it hits even harder. And yeah, fire breath is going to be your main source of damage with deep breath. Those are your two pretty much one-shot abilities. So I also spec'd into Shattering Star, and this is, I'm gonna put this build in the description so you can just copy it in. But your pretty much offensives are Dragon Rage and Tip the Scales, and your Shattering Star. You want to use Shattering Star on cooldown as well. It's every 15 seconds. You take 20% more damage. So you want to use this right before you do a Deep Breath or a Living Flame. I'm sorry, Fire Breath. You also want to make sure you spec into Onyx Legacy, because it reduces the cooldown Deep Breath by a minute. And Spellweaver's Dominance just makes your crits do crazy damage. So other than that, everything else in the build is pretty much based around Disintegrate. And this ability right here, Scintillation, it makes, every time you disintegrate, it gives a 15% chance to send an Eternity Surge at target. And Eternity Surge is your other burst, which you want to charge up in RBGs for sure. So with the Eternity Surge, I just want to talk about that for a second. It's your other Empower, it's your Blue Empower ability. And in RBGs, when you charge it up, it'll hit up to 8 people. So you want to make sure you charge this as much as you can if you're in a team fight. It's going to hit the most people. So when you do that, it's all of them. As for your Fire Breath, you want to try and... I'm still testing it. You want to, like in RBGs, you want to make sure that you're doing it fully, because it does a lot of burst. But it's also not terrible to do it at like 2 or 3 Empower, because it still puts a big dot on them. So the damage is still going to be there. It's just I think burst is better, so you want to charge it up, but it's also not, it's just not bad to do it less than that. But okay, let's go over the defensives. You pretty much only have 1 damage reduction defensive, and that's your Obsidian Scales. And that reduces the damage that you take by 30%, and with this ability you get 2 charges of it. Pretty simple. Other than that, you have Renewing Blades. It's basically an 8-second temporal shield that all the damage you take gets healed back to you. So if you're about to take big damage, you want to pop your Renewing Blaze, and it'll just heal a lot of the damage back to you. And also your Emerald Blossom, I spec'd into this, so it gives you an instant heal as well. Rescue is really good too for saving your teammates, but kind of hard to use sometimes. I'm still testing it out on what's best. You also want to make sure you spec into Terror of the Skies, because it makes your Deep Breath stun them. So let's go over the big burst rotation. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys what to do. Oh, let me also talk about Oppressing Roar. So what this ability does is it increases the duration of crowd controls that affect them by 50% in the next 10 seconds. So what you want to do, the first thing, I'm gonna go over the rotation right now. If you want to Oppressing Roar, you want to use your Root on all of them, so Root lasts a long time. And you want Dragon Rage, and you want to use your Deep Breath to do a lot of damage. And then right off that, you want to teleport back, you want to use your Shattering Star, you want to use your Tip the Scales, and Fire Breath. And then doing all of that really quick, I kind of slow it down for you guys, is going to be maximum damage. Then you want to use your Eternity Surge as fast as you can off that. So that's pretty much your big one-shot damage. Using all those in unison, you're going to pretty much destroy a team fight and destroy a lot of people in 3s. But the reason that you use Oppressing Roar is to make the stun from your Deep Breath last longer on them, so they're stunned and they can't escape your Fire Breath. And also with this ability, with Charge Blast, your blue damage increases the damage of your next pyre by 5%, stack up to 20 times. So when you have a 20 stack pyre, you want to make sure you throw a Shattering Star and then throw your pyre at it. Then it'll do a lot of damage in the cluster, in like a cluster. So again, you want an Oppressive Roar, you want Deep Breath, press Deep Breath again to port back, and then you want to Shattering Star and use a Tip the Scales Fire Breath and blast him. Except I don't have Tip the Scales, so right now. And then use your Eternity Surge pretty much on cooldown and blast as many people you can with it. And so that's your burst. Other than that, what you want to do is pretty much just fly around, use your Disintegrates, use your Azure Strikes. You're really never going to press Living Flame except after your Fire Breath. Whenever you use Fire Breath, if you get a big one, your Living Flame will hit everybody, pretty much. So when you Fire Breath, look, I'm going to show you. Fire Breath, you get 4 stack of Living Flame. And you could also hover, and then you can do it while casting as well. So you can do it like that. Then you want to use all of your essence to disintegrate. Disintegrate, Azure Strike to get the procs. Azure Strike, got the proc. Hover, disintegrate. So I got all my cooldowns back, so I'm gonna go over again the rotation for you guys, just so you guys can see it one more time. So first thing you want to do, pressing Roar. You want to use your Root. Then you want to Dragon Rage and fly over everybody. Your Deep Breath. Port back, Shattering Star, Tip the Scales, Fire Breath. And then you want to start casting your Eternity Surge off that as fast as you can. See if you can get as much damage as you can out. And that's the burst. Like I said, other than that, just disintegrate. Stack your pyre with disintegrate. I'm gonna throw a 20 stack pyre at them with my Shattering Star. And yeah, and you just rinse and repeat. But other than that, like just regular rotation, just disintegrate, Azure Strike for procs when you can. You want to do your Living Flame off the Fire Breath. So it hits everybody. Your Living Flame will hit everybody for big dam. If you're getting attacked, you want a Renewing Blaze right away, because it'll heal you all the damage taken. You also want to use your heal, your one heal. You want to wall. That's pretty much all you can really do. That's the gist of it. I'm gonna show you guys some tips and tricks now that I've learned in Arena. So let me cut to that real quick. All right, so here's a threes match. I'm gonna basically show you guys me playing Chrono Loop and my rotation on them. So we're gonna start the game off. I'm gonna get my Root, my stun. I get a triple stun. I come back. I use my Shattering Star. Tip the Scales. Fire Breath. And then what I do right here is I use the ability that I was talking about, Chrono Loop. Okay, it's a reverse alter time. So I put it on him right there, and you see the buff right there. So this ability is dispellable. So if you were to dispel it, it would take him back in time to where I put the spell on him. But he doesn't do that, so it's a good example of to show you guys what actually happens with it. So he's gonna heal himself, and look, it's about to end in 1.4 seconds, and he's gonna go back in health to where I put it on him. So what I'm doing is I'm already casting an Essence Burst, waiting for it to come back. So I'm gonna time it perfectly. And he also tranks, so he doesn't know what's about to hit him. He tranks, the chrono loop ends, he ports back, and I hit him with the Essence Burst, and he dies. So let's play that back. Let's watch it in full time what happens. Fire Breath. That's the Essence Burst. Alter time. Blasted. So that's another little trick that you can do for Arena. So I'm going to show you guys also another example of it. Sorry, this one. This is another example of it as well. So Here we have double DH. Fly. I use my Shattering Star. Shattering Star right here. Chrono Loot. I blasted him. Chrono Loop on him. Essence Burst. Right as it ends. Right as it ends. So I use my burst. I put the Chrono Loop on him right here. And so you see his buff. I already start casting the Essence Burst as it's ending. So do your burst, put the Chrono Loop on him, and then as it's ending, I'm already casting the Essence Burst. I even let go of the cast right before he teleports. So it hits him right here. Bam. He didn't see what's coming. Blast, Chrono Loop, Hover, Essence Burst, blah, dead. So yeah, that's that. Let me know if you guys have any questions on that, guys. Please leave me a subscribe, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, what I could work on. I know it's not the best editing. I'm just doing it on my own, but I figured I'd get the content out for you guys in a detailed format. You know, get all the information out. So hope you guys have a great day. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate you guys watching. Also follow my Twitch if you guys aren't already. If you guys are from YouTube, be sure to follow my Twitch. I'm gonna leave it in the description. I'm a full-time streamer, so hopefully I can see you guys there. So thank you everybody. Have a good one. Peace.